Okay, if you're someone that suffers from a crippling sense of insufficiency on the regular, I made this for you. I do talk a little fast, so I'm sorry about that, but I am confident that this will shed some light on the subject coming from a person with chronically low self-esteem. So watch to the end, and I really hope this serves you. The number one confidence hack that I've found this year is not a hack, it's just called doing the thing. Go find the best practices and copy those people. Become a student of the game. That's it. And then you don't have to worry so much about trying to be like this person or that person, because you're on your own path and you're studying what works and you're figuring it out, and then you're going and you're implementing. So you don't have to worry about what freaking Bobby Jones or what your grandma or what your uncle or what your dad or your mom says or what your friends think, because none of that stuff is relevant. You can psychoanalyze all you want, but use your energy and the fuel that you have. If you're really pissed off at your parents, or if you're really pissed off at your friends, or there's somebody that broke your heart, fine, use that energy. But I will tell you this, you have to become a student of the game. If you don't become a student of the game, you're just washing around and you're just leaving your growth to randomness. You can't leave your growth to randomness if you want to be your own individual boat in life. If I want to build this creator business where I'm just building stuff and I'm just getting after it, I can't do that unless I become a student of the game. Let's make that very clear. A student of the game does not just read the book. A student of the game takes the book and turns it into reality. There are two types of readers. You can make up like 60, but I'm gonna keep this really simple. There's the type that opens it up, reads it cover to cover, and is like, I read the book. And then tells all their friends, bro, this book is so amazing. This book is so amazing. I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna transform my life. It's gonna be amazing. I'm different now. And then there's the person who picks up the book, looks for what they're looking for, takes it, and turns it into reality. They probably don't even read the whole book. They probably open it up and read like 2 chapters. Maybe they read the whole book, but they probably just read some chapters and are like, this is what I need to do. Got it. Roger that. And then they go apply it tomorrow or today or this very minute. And if you're not the kind of person that applies with rapid action, what are you doing? There's no point in educating yourself on anything unless you're gonna go out and do it. There's no point in watching videos about hybrid athletes unless you're gonna go out and go for the run and go hit the ruck and go hit your calisthenics training and go hit the squats and the freaking deadlifts and the handstands and like all the stuff in between that hybrid athletes do or whatever. You get the point that I'm trying to say. If you wanna go make something happen, you cannot just read about it, and you can't just study about it, and you can't just tell your friends about it. In fact, that's probably the dumbest thing you could possibly do, because all they're gonna do is tell you their opinion, which is gonna be one of 2 things. One, they'll probably be fake with you and just be like, oh yeah, it's a really good thing, and they're just people who nod their heads at whatever you say, because they really just don't actually care about you. They just nod their heads all the time because they don't care. And honestly, I can be that person oftentimes. My bad to all my friends who have given me ideas and I've just been like, that's some BS on my part. Now, that being said, number 2 kind of friend is the kind that they just hate on everything, right? And they're just haters, and they're just gonna be trolling everybody forever, and they're gonna be playing video games and sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and nachos and freaking Mountain Dew for the rest of their life. And that's really depressing, and those people also are completely irrelevant to your success. And I'm not trying to like trash on those people, I'm just drawing an idea of you will have characters that will jump out from the sidelines of doing nothing with their life and then coming up to you and being like, well, that's stupid. And they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. They are completely informed. Their brain, from a neurological standpoint, is coming from a completely different reality, because what have they conditioned their reality with? They've placed their attention on things that actually aren't even real. They've placed their brain and their food in an environment that is fake. It is processed. It is engineered in a lab. It's not real. It's not alive. And so if you have people in your life that aren't living their best life, or that aren't living the life that you want to live, I'm not gonna say that their opinion is completely irrelevant, because people always have mistakes that you can learn from. The wise people learn from other people's mistakes, and they don't make the same mistakes themselves. However, the wise person also doesn't let their path be dictated by all the opinions of all the noise of everybody around them. Because you know what? In the poor village, there's a bajillion people who are also poor. And you know what they're gonna be telling you? They're gonna be telling you their poor opinions. They're gonna be putting their poor mindset on you. And poor is relative. So I'm not hitting on anybody right now. There's nobody that I'm trying to like diss on. The point is, when you understand that if you are surrounded with people that are creating a life, living a life, developing a life, they have a bank account, a body, relationships that you do not want, then their opinion is probably just noise. And that can be hard sometimes when it's like your parents or it's like your spouse. Oh, that's like a problem. It shouldn't be your spouse. Hopefully your spouse is like, you guys are locked in and you're cool. But if it is, that's not my deal because I don't want to deal with that. However, what I can tell you is those opinions are just noise. And so we have to see through the noise when we're trying to get to the other side. When you're trying to get to the promised land, there's going to be all these dumb boros over here in the village that are saying you're stupid. It's the same thing with Noah's Ark, okay? Everybody on the planet was like, Noah, you're freaking stupid. Why are you building an ark? And then the entire planet got wiped out, which is like really, really graphic. I know, I'm sorry for going there, but that's the reality. It's like most people are just most people. Most people are average. Average people are average. Average is average. Almost is just almost. They're not really actively living their life. And if you meet people like that, you should love them. You should have compassion on them. You should not judge them or compare them or diss on them or be like, yeah, screw you, you're fat. Like, that's not the point. Don't get me twisted here. The point is, those people should not have the weight in your mind. You shouldn't be giving them power because you're creating a future out here. So why would you listen to all the noise in here? You just have to have faith. And that sounds so like, oh, just have faith. But it's actually the greatest hack ever. Have faith, put intention into it, and then put work into it, right? Have faith, have an intention, go put in the work, go learn the skill, go do the things, develop the character, and get after it on the righteous grind. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I just had such a great workshop with my client right now, and I just never thought I could do that. Like, I never thought I could deliver value for somebody else, which sounds really bad saying that out loud. Just how low my own self-esteem can be sometimes. Ugh. Look, guys, I have extremely low self-esteem. Like, it's bad. I don't think any girl will ever love me. Like, I think I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life. I genuinely, I just don't know. I'm like, there's a high chance that I end up just being a lonely guy in a Porsche. Like, and that's not a bad, I'll be cool with that, But what I'm trying to say is, everybody battles. And I'm trying not to wash over this because I tend to kind of avoid these topics. Like, I'll brush on it a little bit and tell somebody like, oh yeah, I struggle, ... and then just end it there. And I want to learn how to be more vulnerable, but that vulnerable place in my heart is just ashed. It's just empty and it's just ashy. And so I just kind of lump over it with some coal and then just move on. I'm like, oh, well, it's not there. It's still there, guys. So that comes up from a subconscious place of believing I'm not worthy or that I'm not good enough or that I just suck. And there are two things with that. One is the subconscious belief, conditioning in the body. And the second thing is actually just actions. Because everything you're doing on a daily basis is conditioning your standards, it's conditioning your identity. It's telling your brain I either follow through or I don't. I am this kind of person or I'm that kind of person. I'm someone who smokes, I'm not someone who smokes. I'm someone who drinks, I'm not someone who drinks. I'm someone who gets high, I'm not someone who gets high. I'm sober, I'm not sober. I'm strong or I'm not strong. I'm weak or I'm not weak. I'm fast or I'm not, whatever, guys. Everything that you're doing is programming stories in your brain. But the stories in your brain are also programming everything you do. So the two things are in battle. So one side is your old conditioning that you have to fight with. You are at battle, you are at war with dark voices inside your brain. The other side is you have to outwork your self-doubt. Both of those things are part of the righteous grind, and that's a challenge for sure. Because yes, you have to outwork your self-doubt, but to just believe that, I don't know, Alex Hormozy talks about, just outwork your self-doubt, bro. And I think he's right, but there are also people who, and maybe this is a limiting statement, and maybe I shouldn't go there, but I think sometimes we get so locked in the sameness of, we get so comfortable and familiar with our own limitations, our own limits that we fight for, our own protective barriers of this is who I am, I suck at this, or I'm not good enough, or no one's ever gonna love me, or I'm just this way, right? I'm just bad at sales. I just can't figure out the ads. I just can't, and whatever. We just kind of have a dumb story that we're just using to avoid the work. there's both sides of that, right? One is like there's the esteem, and the other is like you have to do the work. And both of those things help you do the work and help build the esteem. So like, which one is it? I don't know, guys, because I just got saved. I just believe in letting Jesus Christ transform my identity and then just moving forward in grace and truth, knowing that I have the freedom to fail, mess up, be myself, and just kind of like I'm free in this reality, but also understanding the truth of my potential and the truth of what I'm called to, and the truth that I got to get after, and I got to pick up the cross, and I got to get to work, and I got to go and battle with that old self, and I got to go to war, and I got to get on the pavement, and I got to run the miles. And you have both sides of those things at the same time. They coexist. I think that's it. You have the old flesh, the old ways, the old dead tissue inside of you that is like, there are old habits that you need to kill. It's porn, it's drugs, it's constantly dating, it's going back and forth between like parties. There's nothing wrong with whatever. I'm not even gonna get into that. Parties are a complete waste of your time. I'm just telling you this right now. That, bro, I'm sorry. Like, that is so stupid. It is the dumbest decision of your life to waste your time with other people who are wasting their time, effing around, getting drunk, high, screwed up, crossed, all that. You guys are just, I'm sorry, but like I've been there and I've done that, and it's just a complete waste of time. And I'm sure you know that, but if you're in that right now, why aren't you getting out? Like, why aren't you cutting those people off? Because they're not going to make you more successful, and they're not going to be there for you when you're trying to make it out. Because to be honest with you, they want you to stay the same version of you to keep them comfortable, because the version of you right now that you are is fitting into their broken reality. So you have to stay broken to keep their reality safe. And that is a cost that you're going to have to either pay, or you're going to switch and you're going to let them go, or they're going to move on and change with you, but you're not going to stay there for them. You cannot stay at this level. You cannot stay at this level. And you can't do that for anyone. You can't give anyone that power. You just have to say, oh, this is the direction I want to go. The two directions you don't want. This is absolutely do not want this. Absolutely do want this. Maybe you don't have perfect clarity, but if you know that that road leads to the definition of hell for you, then you probably shouldn't take it. And you should probably do a 180 and get going in the other direction. That's my little rant on that. All that being said, everybody has something that they're battling. Porn is really popular, so most people are doing porn. We don't talk about it, but like the amount of porn users there are is like in the billions, I'm pretty sure. It's got to be at least millions, but it's messed up. There's a lot of the dark science of porn, from a scientific, spiritual, all those levels. Let me just tell you this right now. All of those habits and things that I listed, they're all leaking your energy. They're all leaking your life force. They're all stealing your heart and the devotion of your heart and the power of your core to things that aren't real, to things that are of disoriented ways. They're not true. They don't lead to any real fruit in your life. They just lead to the after, where you're afterwards and you're just like empty, right? Emptiness freaking sucks, unless it's the beautiful emptiness of white space, which we'll get into in another video. But you have to kill those weeds, bro. You have to absolutely slaughter them. How do you slaughter them? You take the righteous grind sword and you just and you freaking kill that joint. And I'm not telling you it's gonna happen overnight, but I can tell you this: if you get a great community around you, you can figure it out. If you get a great community and you get rooted in truth, you get grounded in great practices, and you get surrounded with a mindset of people with just a completely different vision, you will transform just by getting around those people. It's proximity. Proximity is power. Put yourself in proximity to the places that you want to go in life, not all the people that are bringing you down, not all the habits that are bringing you down. You have to create distance and space from those things, because if you don't do that, you're just going to be living in the same routine day in and day out. And nobody wants to do that. I know you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Let's get on the righteous grind together. Join the community below. I'm going to link in the description. It's free. It's just like, I want to support you and I need you to support me. And we need to keep each other accountable with the basic things of not jacking off and actually doing the work and making the vision happen, building the future for our families, for our loved ones, for our generations, man, for your mom and your dad, for your homies. I don't know who you're building for, but I know you got somebody you're building for. Go glorify the Lord. Let's go. Righteous grind. I'll see you next time. Also subscribe and send to your friends if you like this. Peace.